When was the last time you abandoned your own knowing to chase external validation? That moment when you silenced your intuition, compromised your authentic expression, or altered your natural path because someone else's approval seemed more trustworthy than your own inner guidance. This painful trade, sacrifice in self-trust for external validation, represents one of the most common spiritual wounds of our time. We've been conditioned to believe that our worth, our correctness, even our identity itself must be confirmed by others to be real. Jorja Smith represents one of music's most powerful examples of the spiritual courage to reject this bargain, consistently choosing herself trust over external validation, despite extraordinary pressures to do otherwise. From her independent release of Blue Lights to her refusal to chase trends or sign with major labels prematurely, she has demonstrated what spiritual traditions call sovereignty, the unwavering commitment to honor inner guidance over external approval. Just think about your own relationship with validation. How often have you compromised your self-expression for the security of external approval? What has been the cost of this trade on your creative fulfillment, your sense of purpose, your connection to your own truth? As we explore Jorja's journey today, I'll uncover 3 profound spiritual truths about self-trust, external validation, and the courage to honor your own thinking or knowing. Insights that might illuminate your own struggle between authentic expression and approval seeking. These principles reveal how rejecting the addiction to validation, when approached as spiritual practice rather than just personality trait, becomes pathway to expression that serves both soul purpose and collective inspiration. The independent emergence, trusting your timing over external pressure. Honoring your own timing rather than external pressure represents spiritual practice of sovereignty, recognizing that authentic emergence follows divine schedule rather than market expectations. Jorja Smith's emergence as musical force began with extraordinary act of self-trust, releasing her debut single Blue Lights independently at age 18, a song addressing police interactions with Black youth in her hometown. Rather than pursuing industry connections first or crafting more commercially accessible introduction, she trusted the significance of this specific expression at this specific time. Consider your own relationship with timing and emergence. Have you ever rushed your development or expression because external voices convinced you that your natural pace was too slow? How often have you felt that anxious pressure to arrive, achieve, or emerge before your authentic readiness? Or perhaps you've delayed your emergence because others suggested you weren't ready despite your inner knowing that your time had come. Think about a specific project, relationship, or personal development where you abandoned your natural timing to meet external expectations. What was the quality of what emerged from that forced timeline? Did it carry the resonance and integrity that naturally timed expression might have created? What if the universe has a perfect timeline for your unique emergence that doesn't match external pressure or conventional timelines? What might change if you trusted that divine schedule rather than conforming to others' expectations about what you should or when you should arrive or achieve? The extraordinary resonance that emerges from honoring natural timing isn't just evident in Jorja's music, but potentially in your own life experiences. Think about those moments when you followed your inner timing despite external pressure. Didn't those naturally timed expressions often carry deeper resonance and integrity than those you forced to meet external schedules? Validation independence, measuring success by internal standards. Defining success by internal standards of integrity rather than external metrics of validation represents spiritual practice of discernment, recognizing that true fulfillment emerges from fidelity to purpose rather than accumulation of approval. Beyond her business independence, Jorja Smith has demonstrated remarkable commitment to measuring her success by internal standards rather than external metrics. Her consistent prioritization of artistic integrity over commercial benchmarks suggests consciousness about what spiritual traditions call true north, internal compass that measures fulfillment by alignment with purpose rather than accumulation of validation. Reflect on your own relationship with success metrics. How often do you evaluate your worth or achievement primarily through external measures, social media metrics, income comparisons, recognition from authorities, or approval from specific people? How frequently do you find yourself refreshing feeds, checking numbers, or seeking confirmation that your expression has been received properly? Think about a recent achievement or a creation. What was your first instinct for measuring its success? Did you immediately look for outward validation, counting likes, seeking specific feedback, comparing performance to others? Or did you first check your internal compass, asking whether it aligned with your authentic purpose and integrity? What if the most meaningful metric of success isn't external validation, but internal alignment? What if fulfillment emerges not from accumulating approval, but from expressing your authentic purpose with integrity? How might this shift in measurement transform both your creative process and your sense of fulfillment? The freedom that comes from validation independence isn't just evident in Jorja Smith's career choices, but potentially available in your own life. Think about those rare moments when you've measured your success by internal standards of integrity rather than external validation. Didn't that internal measurement create more sustainable fulfillment than the inevitable fluctuations of public opinion? Your worth and the value of your expression cannot be accurately measured by external metrics. The addiction to external validation creates constant vulnerability to others' perceptions. Internal standards create foundation for sustainable fulfillment beyond the inevitable fluctuation of public approval. Consider an area in your life where you currently measure success primarily through external validation. What internal standards might provide more meaningful and sustainable measurement? What would change in your approach if alignment with purpose rather than accumulation of approval became your primary success metrics? The courage of authentic voice, expression over expectation. Maintaining authentic voice despite pressure to conform represents spiritual practice of fidelity, honoring the specific expression that seeks to emerge through you, even when it contradicts expectations about what you should create or become. Jorja Smith's consistent commitment to her distinctive sound, blending soul, jazz, and R&B influences with thoughtful lyrics, addressing personal and social themes despite industry pressure to adopt more commercially accessible styles, demonstrates what spiritual traditions call voice fidelity, honoring the specific expression that constitutes your unique contribution rather than conforming to external expectations. Think about your own relationship with authentic expression. Have you ever diluted your natural voice, your style, or perspective to gain wider acceptance? Have you noticed that compromise or how that compromise often creates work that lacks the very resonance that authentic expression naturally generates? How frequently do you find yourself calibrating your expression to meet expectations rather than allowing your authentic voice to emerge untampered? Reflect on a specific time when you compromised your authentic expression for external approval. What was the quality of what emerged from that compromise? Did it create the connection or fulfillment you hoped for? Or did the very act of dilution remove the distinctive medicine your authentic voice might have offered? What if your specific voice, with all its distinctive qualities, perspectives, and expressions, represents medicine that only you can offer? What if conforming to expectations about what you should create or become actually prevents you from offering the unique contribution your soul came to deliver? How might this understanding transform your willingness to express authentically, even when it doesn't align with current trends or expectations? The profound connection that authentic expression creates isn't just evident in Jorja Smith's music, but potentially in your own life experiences. Think about those moments when you've expressed from your most authentic voice despite pressure to conform. Didn't those expressions often create deeper resonance and connection than those you carefully collaborated for approval? Your authentic voice represents specific medicine that only you can offer. Voice conformity for validation often creates expression that serves neither your purpose nor others' needs. Voice fidelity creates possibility for expression that serves the specific contribution only your authentic voice can provide. Consider an area in your life where you currently conform your expression to meet expectations. What might emerge if you honored your authentic voice despite pressure to conform? What specific medicine might your undiluted expression offer that your conformity has been withholding? Integration, balance in receptivity, and sovereignty. What makes the journey towards validation independence particularly challenging is finding the balance between rigid rejection of all external input and uncritical surrender to others' opinions. The spiritual maturity lies in what traditions call sovereign receptivity, maintaining self-trust while remaining open to wisdom that genuinely serves your authentic expression. Reflect on your own relationship with external input. Do you tend towards either extreme, either rejecting all guidance in the name of independence, or surrendering your discernment to external authorities? How might this imbalance be limiting both your growth and your authentic expression? Think about your current approach to feedback and guidance. How do you discern between external input that enhances your authentic expression and influence that would distort it? What internal signals help you recognize wisdom that serves your purpose versus validation that would direct it or redirect it? What if neither rigid independence nor uncritical surrender creates optimal conditions for your authentic expression? What if spiritual maturity evolves maintaining self-trust while remaining open to wisdom beyond your individual perspective? How might this balance transform both your receptivity to guidance and your commitment to authentic expression? The freedom that comes from discerning receptivity isn't just theoretical, but potentially available to you every day or to your everyday choices. Think about those relationships or communities where you've experienced guidance that enhanced rather than redirected your authentic expression. What distinguished that supportive wisdom from the distorted influence of validation seeking? Your journey towards authentic expression requires neither isolation from external wisdom nor surrender of your inner authority. Sovereign receptivity, maintaining self-trust while remaining open to guidance that serves your purpose, creates possibility for expression that benefits from collective wisdom without being determined by external validation. Consider an area of your life where you currently struggle with either rigid independence or uncritical surrender. What might develop if you cultivated sovereign receptivity, honoring your inner guidance while remaining open to wisdom that genuinely serves your authentic expression? What balance between self-trust and receptivity might create optimal conditions for your unique contribution to emerge? Janaea Ayeko's spiritual journey reveals profound truths about authentic spirituality that refuses emotional bypassing. Truth that might illuminate your own struggle between genuine expression and spiritual performance. Her story demonstrates 3 essential spiritual principles that could transform your own approach to difficult emotions. That authentic spiritual practice requires the courage to fully express rather than prematurely transcend. That emotional suffering becomes doorway to genuine depth when fully experienced rather than bypassed. And that authentic expression of shadow material serves collective healing from the spiritual perfectionism that prevents genuine transformation. Take a moment to reflect on your own spiritual journey. What emotions have you been judging as unspiritual? What suffering have you been trying to transcend rather than fully experience? What truth have you been hiding behind spiritual concepts or positive affirmations? The most profound spiritual insight isn't celebrity wisdom, but universal truth that applies directly to your own journey. When approached with psychological honesty rather than toxic positivity, spirituality becomes vehicle for genuine transformation rather than sophisticated escape from human reality. Your path towards authentic spirituality, like Janaea's, may require the courage to express emotions that spiritual culture often deems unacceptable. But in that authentic expression lies the possibility of genuine transformation that spiritual bypassing can never achieve. The integration that comes only through embracing your full humanity rather than performing spiritual transcendence. As always, stay beautiful, stay connected, and stay conscious in the field.